Metaphiles.
Whoa.
Ladies and germs and all, welcome to Metaphiles, the podcast that talks to you. Episode 50.
50. Fireworks. Let's do some fireworks on this one real quick.
Absolutely.
Maybe like one of those ones that go like this. They go like that.
Okay. Here you go. I am, of course, for the 50th time, Zach Caffrey.
And for the 50th time, you might remember by now, Jason Ford.
And this is the podcast that talks to you, and on every episode we discuss a topic and we discuss the we, the world, and the why of that topic.
We do.
And
we really
here
do.
on episode 50, as I find a place where my cigarette will fit in the ashtray. Oh, 50th episode long. To celebrate, we are going to be talking champagne. And you can't talk about it without having some.
It's should be illegal to talk about it without having none.
And I think we've earned it.
Yeah, we've been working hard for these 50 podcast episodes.
So,
we've earned it.
And you've earned it. If you don't have a bottle of champagne, please pause the episode, go get one. Welcome back, and let's do this together.
Synchronize your pops. Oh yeah, that sounded good. Oh,
What's that smell like, Jay?
It smells like grapes.
Smells like victory.
Yeah, okay. Let's put the cork popping on this one.
Absolutely. And here we are.
Pour me some of that good shit, man. Woo! It just sounds good when you're pouring it.
Should we put the pouring sound on there as well?
Yeah, let's put it over here. Okay.
And the sound of the effervescence of those little bubbles climbing to the top of the Metaphiles mug sounds just a little bit like applause, doesn't it? Doesn't it sound like the cheering of the crowd?
To Metaphiles.
To Metaphiles.
Oh yeah.
Ugh.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Ooh. Not a fan. Interesting.
No, I'm just kidding. It's delicious.
Oh, okay.
It's delicious.
That would have been a little weird.
And I feel like it gets secondary prop status.
I'll allow it.
Okay.
Yeah. You can go ahead and be there.
Co-props.
Co-props. Yeah.
Co-props. And here on episode 50, let's give some co-props to some things about Metaphiles that we feel like deserve co-props. Co-props to the fact tube.
Yeah.
And let's see an image of the fact tube on the fact tube.
Let's see that. Oh. Okay. Wow. Co-props.
Co-props.
Tri-host. Free host pod.
Tri-host.
Yeah.
Is that like when we are trying to host too much, we're being tri-host?
Yeah. It is. Oh. Ooh.
Champagne! Celebration. Revelry.
Uh-huh. When, not counting now, obviously, when's the last time you had any champagne?
I do believe that the last time that I drank champagne
Uh-huh.
was with you. Are we ready to tell that story?
On New Year's?
Oh. Did I have champagne at New Year's? I don't believe I did.
You're talking about the house show.
Hmm?
When are you talking about?
Well, I'm talking about the big story of when you and I split a bottle of champagne.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the big champagne and us story.
It is.
And boy, is it a
Yeah.
doozy. We drank some champagne once. No.
Wow.
Yeah, I do think that's probably last time.
Really? Wow.
Or maybe not. Oh, because that would have been...
Kind of a while ago.
Yeah. I'm so drunk, I can't remember.
Yeah, me too.
So drunk on champagne.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those bubbles went straight to my brain.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think I got to drink any champagne on New Year's this year because I was working.
Mm.
And I was working at a place where there was not any champagne.
A damn shame. No champagne, damn shame.
Champagne shames for my damn friends.
Mm. So, yeah, well, okay, so we watched, we've been waiting to watch a show together.
Yeah. Okay, so we will tell it.
Yeah.
Yeah, why bury the lead?
Why bury the lead? Don't bury it.
A founding brick in the house that is Metaphiles
Yeah. Fair to say.
is
Yeah.
our mutual love of the dearly departed Norm Macdonald.
Mm.
And I would
Oh.
pour some out for him, but I'm going to drink it. So I'm going to pour it out into my mouth.
Yeah, let's pour that out in your mouth, yeah.
For Norm.
Yeah.
And so when Norm Macdonald got his Netflix talk show,
Mm-hmm.
and we were both so excited to watch it, and we were like, you come over and we'll watch it together. And we met up after our respective works.
Yep.
And you had your backpack full of all your things you needed for work
Mm-hmm.
at your backpack work.
Yeah.
And you pulled from your backpack, you said, let's do this in style, and you pulled a bottle of champagne, and we drank champagne and watched Norm Macdonald Has a Show.
That's right.
And we laughed and laughed
We
and
laughed.
drank and drank.
Laughed and drank and drank.
And then we continued laughing and continued drinking
Yes. Into the night.
into the night.
Yes.
And the champagne was out,
Mm-hmm.
but the champagne of beer,
Mm-hmm.
not Miller High Life, but just beer,
Mm-hmm.
that took it the place, and we laughed some more and drank some more.
Yes.
And then, Jay.
Well, then it was very late,
Yes.
and
we
I
had laughed so much.
we laughed so much, and drank almost as much, maybe more than we laughed. Who knows?
Tough to say.
And it was time for me to go. Departing from the living room here at Metaphile Studios. You know, see Zach. Oh, that was so much fun. Good night, man. Blah blah. And then I let go of Zach from our goodbye hug because we're good buds. And he falls backwards over his coffee table in drunk slow motion. Which, you know, when you're drunk, you fall in slow motion. It's just you're like, you start falling up here, and it's like, oh, he's falling, and it's like, falling has begun, and you're just
Yeah. And by this point in the fall, I am aware I'm falling right now.
Yep.
And I'm rolling over my own coffee table.
Over it, backwards, yep. And, you know, you want to try to stop falling, but you know you're not going to be able to, and you know you are falling, and you know you're going to fall. And so do I, and so it's just going. And it just goes, and you reach the horizontal point of flipping all the way over your own coffee table, and you're stiff, you know, just straight as a board because you're like, and then it just, and then it just keeps going, and your heels over your head, you know, into the air, and I'm just watching, and I begin laughing at that point about the halfway mark.
Yeah.
And you continue to fall, and it's just uproariously hilarious.
Absolutely.
You're just a falling object.
Yeah.
And at some point it stops, and I just about fall over from laughing because
but manage not to.
it's the slowest fall down ever, and you're just completely stiff-bodied.
Yes. And a full 360-degree turn
Oh yeah.
over the coffee table, landing honestly quite softly on my knees.
Of course, another feature of the drunk fall down. It takes forever. It's in slow motion, and there's zero harm.
Yeah, well, the floor has time to prepare for you.
Yeah, it's like, here we go.
We go. And guess what the end of the story is, folks? We laughed some more.
We laughed even more.
And we're still laughing to this day.
Yeah, that was about 15 years ago. We're still laughing.
Yeah.
Maybe not that long ago, but it was damn funny. We laughed 15 years worth since then. Since that happened.
Yes, we've put in our 10,000 hours of laughing at that.
Yeah.
We're experts at laughing about it.
Yes.
Experts at telling it as a story on a podcast. Who can say? But we're celebrating this week. So if that was a story that's a little more for us than for you, well, hopefully you opened your bottle of champagne at the correct time, dropped your champagne bean when we asked you to.
Yeah.
And glug, 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 glug. Ha 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 ha.
It's a 1-to-1 glug to ha ratio.
Yes. And if your glugs to ha's are not at optimal level,
Glugs, ha's.
maybe add a glug and watch the ha follow, and just. But don't let too many ha's, because then you're gonna think, I don't know if I can glug.
Too many ha's can't glug. Too many glugs can't ha. You gotta beep, 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 beep.
Oh,
Perfect.
And that's champagne.
Yeah.
When's the most recent time since then that you drank champagne? I honestly don't think I have, because I'm scared. Anytime I'm going to drink champagne, I make sure there's a coffee table nearby, just in case I do need to fall.
Safely. Well, it was New Year's for me.
Yeah.
It was this past New Year's. My good friend Eric had a bitchin' house party I went to, and he had a bunch of champagne for everybody, enough for everybody. And so, you know, you got your flutes, you pour it, you ball drops, you know, that's Happy New Year's, good. That's a glug of champagne. Let's get that on good on there. Yeah.
And again, it's not ha, and not
out of balance.
Ha ha.
Totally out of balance.
And so it is New Year's, and you're drinking champagne. And did you do one of these with anyone?
No. Afraid not. I think that's a wedding thing only.
You're not allowed to do it any other
Only
time?
for weddings.
We could not do it on the show right now.
If we could, I still wouldn't do it.
Why?
It's a little too involved. Also not too funny either.
More
it's
romantic.
kind of thing. More romantic. You know, funny or romantic they aren't good bedfellows. They don't really go together a whole lot.
Well, Jay,
Rom-coms, there's a reason you don't see those anymore.
Yeah.
Because people realized I never feel funny when I'm being romantic, and being funny never feels like I'm being romantic. It feels like I'm talking about a shit I took or something like that.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
got a way to make it funny. Not for us to do it, but just in general. What if the two people have
Sure.
done that, but then, like, somebody on the other side of them says, hey, come over here really fast. You got to look at this really cool thing.
Mm-hmm.
And their arms are all like that, and they both try and go the other way, and they can't because their arms are like that.
And then they
Glug.
and Glug. And then they start a whole romance together, and they're suddenly a couple because they say, "Oh yeah, it's over here." Oh,
Yeah.
oh, hello, huh? And whole movie from that.
Yeah, and they have to stay together
They
because
have
their
to.
arms are all fucked.
Oh, so you're saying it's kind of like they get surgically grafted together because they did that? That's funny.
They-
and romantic.
They try to run in the other direction so hard because both of them had a friend who said, come look at this cool thing. They try to do it so hard that, yeah, their arms get stuck.
Hey, come look at this cool thing. Oh, my arm's stuck. This summer. Rob Schneider,
And was there ever a
Sean
cool
William
thing?
Scott.
Or was these a couple of Cupid's arrows?
Ooh. Watch a movie to find out. Rom-com mystery. That's a cool new genre. It's not just a
Ooh.
rom-com. It's a rom-com miss. Rom-miscom.
Rom-miscom.
Com-miss-rom.
So it's Detective Hartfelt,
Yeah.
Detective Leslie Hartfelt,
Uh-huh.
has fallen in love with someone.
The mayor, probably. 'Cause he's up
Probably
with
the
that.
mayor, but here's the thing. We don't know who for sure. And
yeah.
Detective Leslie Hartfelt doesn't
He's got to
know who.
find out who he's in love with.
to solve the case of who he's in love with.
Right, yeah. Okay.
Hey, listen, I gotta just ask you a quick question. Am I in love with you?
Yeah, hey, you don't have to tell you nothing.
Oh.
Runs away. Hey, stop. I'm
Hey.
in love with you.
Are you running because I'm not in love with you or because you're the one that got away?
Great movie.
Great movie.
Apparently starring Humphrey Bogart.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. Humphrey Bogart, but we use technology, age him down, way
Ooh.
down. He's like 18.
Okay.
Yeah. He's a little teenage Humphrey Bogart. He's got all acne and stuff.
I'll bet a teenage Humphrey Bogart was just a little shitheel, just an annoying little, and then suddenly he just was like, at some point in his life he was like, oh wow, I was a little shit. I'm gonna stop doing that, and that's why everybody knows him as the cool, calm, collected detective type.
Yeah. Before that, you think he was like, when am I gonna be in Casablanca?
Yep.
I'm so cool I should be right now.
Sam, why? Please just play it again, Sam.
Sam,
Come on.
play it. You know I like that song, Sam. And the director,
Humphrey Bogart.
Humphrey Bogart,
The director.
Frank Capra? No. Who directed Casablanca?
Ooh, okay, hold on.
Okay.
It was some no-name, like, small director that I can't really think of because
Yeah.
it was originally like a shitty small film of no consequence, but it just exploded for no reason. I can't remember the fucking director.
Okay. Well, whatever piece of shit that directed
Yeah,
that
whatever
movie.
shitty fucking director directed Casablanca.
He heard that reading from Humphrey and said, Humph, we're going to give it a couple of years. Not yet, Humph.
The Humph guy. That was his name in college.
Yeah,
The Humpher.
yeah. And every Wednesday he'd say, guess what day it is?
It's
and,
Humph Day.
and people didn't like it.
It'd be like, is it Humph Day? It'd be like, ah.
And people didn't like it. But he said it.
This is if you don't believe this is all on Wikipedia, or I'm sorry, this is all on Wikipedia and on IMDb trivia of Casablanca.
IMD Bogart.
IMD Bogart. Me Casablanca, you sue Casablanca.
I am D. Bogart, and you're not. That was his other big catchphrase.
Champagne. Do you like champagne? I love champagne.
Yeah.
It's the tastiest alcoholic bev.
Wow.
I'm gonna say that. You know, you got plenty of mixed drinks. You got White Russian, very tasty.
No, not much bubbles to speak of.
No bubbles there.
No.
But as far as pure taste, and you got I don't know. There's tasty shit out there. Mint julep, as I have mentioned recently on this very pod.
Indeed.
Mudslide.
Popsicles are quite tasty.
Popsicles, yeah, but that's not you mean alcoholic? It's not a beverage and it's not alcoholic, so.
Well,
I think you fucked up the whole segment here.
I have a little secret about a popsicle.
What's up?
I let it melt sometimes and drink it like a beverage.
Okay. Why don't you just get some juice?
Well, that's not popsicle.
Yeah. I can't remember what the fuck we were trying to. Okay, but this is just like this is a verbal brain tumor you just gave me. Champagne's fucking hard to beat as far as actual just taste.
Yeah.
You know, and mouthfeel. You know, it's just the dryness is super good. It's sweet, but it's not too sweet. It's carbonated, but it's not too carbonated. It's dry, but it's not too dry. It's very good. So
it is not too sweet. You're right. But for me, right on the line.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Right on the line.
What's the next sweetest alcoholic drink that you enjoy?
Regular red wine. Next least.
Yeah.
You want it next most?
Least. No, a step below on the sweetness scale.
The sweetness of certain wines.
Step below on the sweetness scale. Certain wines.
Yes.
Okay.
In general, I do not like the white wine.
Really?
Too sweet.
Huh.
Too sweet.
Sweet.
Nice. That was sweet. What you just did was.
Thank you. That's a shame, man.
It's a shame. I feel much shame.
I like a good sweet wine.
About it.
I think, shit, man. You take like a Pinot Grigio and a champagne like this we have here. Very little difference.
Yeah.
Really, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't think they're on the sweetness scale. Yeah. But hey, I'm not trying to say you're wrong about your own damn opinion. Don't get me wrong.
No,
but,
yeah.
Just saying.
I think the audience is like, oh, they're drunk on champagne. They're going to get in a fight.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Maybe we will.
Might be cool.
Not about that, though.
Might be cool, yeah.
Because
we've been drunk quite a bit together, and we haven't got no fights.
No, but not on champagne. The one time I was drunk on champagne with you, I got in a fight with Gravity.
Yeah, and you lost. Yeah.
And I lost.
Yeah, you did.
And I'm mad at Gravity.
Fucking new metal.
Oh. Do we have a room?
We got room for a song from the new metal band Mad at Gravity.
Oh, I meant for that sound that you just did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Okay, sweet drinks.
Sweet alcoholic drinks.
Yes. You like them more than I do. This is what we've learned in segment 1.
Yeah.
But you also will drink Campari.
Yeah.
And things of this nature.
No.
You're looking for the outward edges of your palate.
I put it more like I can appreciate something for what it is, and like.
Fuck you.
Okay. Welcome to Lay It Plays. I think. Okay. So this part of the podcast is a part of the podcast where I pitch a podcast might be better than this podcast potentially. That's what part of the podcast this podcast part is. And so, how about this podcast? Which is the best fart podcast? That's the whole idea. So, and this is going to be a little bit of work for you in post, and I hope you're okay with that. I hope you can find enough farts for it. But anyways, here we go. Welcome to Which is the Best Fart Pod. I'm Jason Ford.
I'm Zach Caffrey.
Hey, welcome to Which is the Best Fart.
Thanks. I think I'm excited to be here. I'm not sure yet.
We're excited to be here. Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. What do you think about this fart?
It sounded smelly.
What about this one?
Better?
Okay. What about this one?
Better than the first one? Not as good as the second one?
Let's get the first one. Let's do a replay of the first one slowed down by about by 0.3 of the speed.
Okay. Well, now that's the best one.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What about this one? I like that one, that latest one most because it's like extra farty.
Yeah.
You know.
Uh-huh.
Now let's have all the farts like played twice the speed in a row, like kind of a fart medley, but 2x speed.
Okay.
That helps.
Yeah, that is the new best one.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not one of it's all of them. That's just kind of helps you think about one of them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna blow up this balloon with farts. Let's see if that helps.
Okay.
The balloon can do its own fart too. Listen. Are you losing my co-host of the fart cast?
Sorry, I thought that this was going to be a podcast about us picking the best podcast that's about farts, because the title is "Which is the Best Fart Podcast." I didn't realize I would be picking farts. I thought I was going to be choosing between different podcasts that pick farts. So I'm just a little thrown off.
You're picking the best farts.
Yeah, I thought I was picking the best podcast that picks the best farts, because it's called Which is the Best Fart Podcast.
There aren't any other podcasts that do that.
Well, I thought there were, based on the name.
Pop this with your cigarette, and it'll be a fart when it pops. Was that the best fart?
It was, yeah, that was the best one.
That's the best fart.
That was the best one.
Awesome. Well, that'll do it for this week. We've determined which one's the best fart. If you agree, if you don't agree, sound off of the.
Can I also say something? Sorry.
Excuse me?
Just before it's too late.
Okay.
I just want to say that I came in here thinking that I would pick which podcast was the best at picking farts. And I just want to say, I want to say,
yeah.
Now that I've been on this show.
This is our 300th episode.
Yeah, but when I hear a fart,
yeah,
it makes me forget everything from since the first time I heard a fart, like that, like kind of like that movie Memento.
Why didn't you tell me about this?
I thought I had. I forgot it that I hadn't, and I assumed I had. But I just want to say here on this 300 episode, hopefully this is the first time I've said this, I don't know, that now that I understand the format of the show,
yeah,
if I was to be asked which podcast is the best podcast at picking farts, which is what I thought I was here to do, I would pick this one. That's what I'm saying.
That's good.
Oh, well, okay. I thought you'd be, like, very grateful, but...
I don't know. Well, it's just kind of like, I'm not too grateful to hear that my co-host on a podcast about picking best farts is someone who forgets every fart they've heard as soon as they hear a fart. That's not exactly the best host to have on that podcast. Out of like 8 billion people on this planet, everybody else can hear farts and remember everything else after they hear the fart. But apparently,
yeah.
So it's I'm not exactly pleased by that. So
okay. Well, here on the 300th episode, which congratulations to
Thanks,
us
man.
both, by the way.
Thanks. Let's do a good big one just in commemoration of that. That's a good one.
I'm excited to be on the show. What are we doing today?
That's it. We're done.
Oh, great. Thanks for having me.
We did a whole thing, and you picked a fart, and we talked about farts, and you told me about this whole condition you had where you forgot about everything. And we're going to talk about future podcasts as you being the host or maybe not being the host going forward because of your fart memory problems.
I mean...
You got bad fart memory.
It's a fart memory condition that I live with.
I'm sure it's really set you back.
And like, you know, sometimes I fart and then I forget, you know. Anyway, I'm excited to be here. I can't wait to get into it with you.
That's this week's episode. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week doing the same whole fucking thing we just did again.
Okay.
Bye.
Hey, I should tell you real quick now that the mics are off.
Sure, what's up, man?
I have a condition where every time I hear a fart, I forget everything that happened to me since the first time I heard a fart. Kind of like that movie Memento.
You know what? That's totally fine.
That's good?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was thinking, like, you know how in that movie Memento, because he can't remember stuff, he gets tattoos all over his body?
So it's like you with farts, though.
It's like I'm like that, but would it be helpful for you if I got a tattoo on my forehead that says I don't remember farts?
Uh-huh. Okay. That would help.
Okay. Because, I mean, I really am committed to the podcast. I mean, we've done 300 of these, so.
If you get enough tattoos about remembering farts on your body, then you can continue to be the host. Co-host.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Oh, man, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. And, like, you know, you might want to incorporate maybe some earplugs or something like that until next episode so that you remember that we had this conversation.
Yeah. Probably either some earplugs or some kind of plug that I can put in my butt that keeps farts in.
Probably gonna want to do both, pal. And does it, when you smell the fart, do you forget if you just smell a fart, or is it just when you hear one?
I mean, I can't remember.
Yeah. Okay. So you're gonna want to do earplugs, nose plugs, in the butt plug as well.
Butt plug. Okay.
Yeah. Did you taste farts too? That'll work. Put that up your butt and stop you from farting.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Okay. If you want to be a part of this podcast, plug every orifice in your body.
Okay, I'm gonna go get started on that and also hit up the tattoo parlor. So, great job tonight. I'll catch you next week.
Yep.
301, baby.
Yeah, he remembers. Yeah. Think about it. Think about all that you just heard. We'll be right back.
We're back on the Metaphiles.
We're back on the Metaphiles.
And that's a little song that we like to sing.
Yeah. What's the guy that did the Toy Story theme song?
Randy Newman.
Back on the Metaphiles.
We're discussing the world.
The world.
Champagne and the world.
You beat the world. Alright, that's all I got. Randy Newman. Everybody.
Randy Newman.
Yeah.
A great songwriter, in fact.
Yeah? Really?
Yeah. He's a genius.
Huh. I mean, is there any song from him that I would recognize? Don't involve no toys.
That doesn't involve
like that.
toys. Maybe. I'll play you sometime.
Word.
Yeah.
Randy Newman and the world.
I could get off on a whole Randy Newman track,
Word.
but
This isn't the Randy Newman episode.
it's not, and we'll. I do want to save it for that one. So this is the champagne episode,
Mm-hmm.
and here I'm gonna take a sip just to prove it.
Sure.
See? And here in segment 2, we will discuss, of course, champagne and the world.
Hell yeah.
Now, before we begin, I must reveal that I slacked off on the research somewhat today for 2 reasons. One is I thought that a lot of this segment was going to be taken up by something that actually is not happening in this episode. It will be happening in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Tune in to find out.
And
And then the other reason is I was having a lot of fun playing a video game, and I was like trying to beat this boss, and I couldn't get him. And I was like, one more try. And
yeah,
hey,
it's
got away from it a little bit.
that's a perfectly viable reason to not do something.
Absolutely, it's like
Play video game instead.
Yeah, you can't wear a suit and drink champagne all day. Sometimes
Yeah.
you gotta hit X, square, R1, and then you almost got him. You can tell he's on the ropes, but he gets you, and you're like, well, that time I was so damn close. Gotta go again.
Well, are you going to get a different bottle of champagne that you're going to pop when you finally beat this mission, this boss, this level?
I have
I don't know how the kids say it these days.
I have what I call a champagne cellar in my closet.
That's cool as hell.
Which is really just that I have one bottle of champagne in there at all times and one backup bottle in case at the drop of a hat if it's time to celebrate anything. I forget which button it was, but
Yeah, right.
you too. That's all right.
Well, let's hit
them all
whichever one.
to find
Okay.
out.
Yeah, it's in there.
So somewhere in there was the
Yeah,
noise
yeah.
I was talking about. Yeah. So yes, the answer is yes. Anytime I need to celebrate anything.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and there's always one backup bottle in case I need to celebrate 2 things in one day,
Sure.
which is,
2 things in one day. A hell of a day.
hell of a day. Hell of a day. Champagne and the world, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
The Romans first planted vineyards in the northeast of France in the 5th century.
Okay.
Then this guy named Emperor Domitian, because there was a war on,
Uh-huh.
he said all colonial vines must be uprooted. He didn't want Roman vines in his
Why?
area. Because fuck them.
Emperor Domitian?
Yeah.
Sounds like a Roman emperor to me.
Oh. Maybe.
So, okay. You say you do less research? I get it. You're playing a video game, all right? But completely non-factual, false research? No.
I didn't think I'd get that much pushback on that first line.
Many people depend on this podcast for facts
We're getting to some harder
about
facts.
the topics that
This part was a little... I thought France had emperors.
Not. France ain't never had no kind of emperor. Well, Napoleon, but that's been it. That was the only one.
Well, look, I just wrote this real fast, this part. This wasn't even about the video game. I just thought, like, I'll just say these 2 sentences and we won't even need to stop down on it.
All right, fine.
Emperor Domitian was like, all colonial vines uprooted. So, okay, so maybe the Romans took their vines back from France? Maybe?
Maybe France planted the vines
Then later, a guy named Emperor Probus, he said, never mind about that. It's fine. You can have any vines you want anywhere.
Another emperor? What are you fucking talking about? Okay.
And so at that time, a temple to Bacchus was erected.
Chewbacca.
To Chewbacchus, Greek god Chewbacchus.
Yeah.
Chewbacchus was the god of wine and ecstasy.
Oh, fucking cool guy.
Yeah, nice fella.
No, cool fucking fella. Party fella.
And so at this temple to him, now that they were allowed to have colonial vines there again, they concocted a light, fruity red wine.
Ooh, that's fun.
Which contrasted the then heavier Italian brews of wine, which would contain more spices and resins and things.
I don't want spices in my wine.
I would be curious. I don't know about resin.
Well, back then they didn't have resin. Sounds alright. I mean, just bits of grape, basically. But back then they just didn't have shit to make shit taste good. So they're like, put this in it. It tastes a little different. I guess that's better.
We found this one leaf that makes stuff taste like stuff.
Yeah.
Pop that in there.
Mm-hmm. You ever have the grape leaf shit when the Greek salad? It's like, what the fuck is this? It's like, bleh. Doesn't taste good.
I've had whatever you get from a Greek place where they wrap stuff up in a grape leaf.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Tastes like plants.
Does taste like plants.
So.
And wine is not supposed to taste like plants. It's supposed to taste like fruits.
Amen. Yeah.
And that's what the French said. Is this wine tastes like plants? Should taste like fruits. But
I'm with it.
Because of the climate in this northeastern French region, reds were very hard. So they began to concentrate more on your white wines.
Sure.
Then, in 1531, some Benedictine monks in the Abbey of Saint Hilaire in Carcassonne, they figured out a way to make wine be sparkling wine.
Did they fart in it?
They farmed sparkles.
They farted in it.
Oh, they farted sparkles. These monks did. That's what they were studying
they
there.
In it, yeah.
They were farting. 50 episodes. Oh, for both of us, 50 episodes. Now, the way that they made the wine sparkle is by bottling it in the middle of its fermentation process. Also, by adding sugar and likely yeast. And it was possible at this time where it had not been possible before because glass makers had figured their shit out more and were making stronger glass bottles. To ferment in this way prior would have been impossible.
Well, it's really funny because, like, technically the yeast is farting out the bubbles. It is farts. It's microbe farts.
You're right.
That's making the bubbles. So,
You're right.
like, wow. If you really think about it.
Is bread farts?
Yeah. Yeah. That's why it proofs up. It's farts, man.
Yeast farts.
Yeast farts, yeah.
We owe them so much.
Thank you for farting so much.
Yeast. Thanks.
Yeah. Keep farting.
Yeah.
Wow. It's just all like, everything is just like, you know, it's just like symbiotic and shit. Yeah.
So, at the time that this whole thing was coming together, we're starting to see what is champagne is happening here. Back then, it was known as the devil's wine.
Oh.
Kind of like the devil's lettuce.
El Diablo.
Kind of like the devil.
Why such a negative connotation, I wonder?
Because the bottles were exploding and corks were popping out, flying everywhere, hitting people in the eye.
That's happened to us one time. If I can interject another story in the research
Please.
segment. We were having a house show here called the Mouth Hole.
Yes.
You know, it was a fester, in fact, the biggest house show that happens here.
That's when I drank champagne last.
It was, it was. It was after the Norm Macdonald.
It was.
Yeah, so, okay, so, yeah, it's funny because we had a bottle of champagne and it was warm, so I put it in the freezer to cool it up a little bit. I forgot, can't imagine why. Frozen solid. Took it out. I was like, we gotta let this thaw, let it sit for a while, set it out back in the yard, just somewhere.
Yeah.
It popped.
And this would be in the
July.
height of the heat
Yeah.
of a Nashville summer.
Yeah.
Night heat.
Night heat.
Night heat. Okay?
It popped all on its own. It was just sitting there and out of nowhere, just like,
That's right.
we're like, what the fuck just happened?
The devil
The El Diablo.
made an
Yeah.
appearance. And then we and the other people we were drinking with,
Mm-hmm.
it was about 5 of us,
Yeah.
each had our amount of it out of paper bowls, paper Dixie cup bowls, because we
Paper
didn't
Dixie
have any
bowls.
glasses.
No glasses, no other
So-
vessel of any kind.
So we were drinking champagne out of the thing that's even stupider to do it out of than a coffee mug. Dixie.
Not even a cup.
bowls.
Paper bowl.
But it was wonderful.
It tasted good. And the craziest part of that whole story is it was still bubbly.
Yeah.
It got warm as fuck. It got frozen solid as a brick. It thawed out in the Tennessee heat. Popped on its own, still bubbly. I don't
Yeah.
get that. I don't understand it, but it was still bubbly.
Some dudes were on a boat once.
Mm.
This is again the kind of research that we're getting this episode.
Sure.
Some dudes were on a boat once.
Mm-hmm.
And they were scanning what was down at the really way bottom of the part of the ocean. And down there, they found a bottle of champagne. And they put it through some testing. And this bottle of champagne was from 1835. And
Cool.
they popped it open and they drank it. And they said it was still bubbly.
Crazy.
Yeah. Those yeast farts linger.
Yeah.
So, Devil's Wine, bottles are exploding, corks are popping out. Then in 1814, Adolphe Jacquesson,
Nice fellow. Yeah.
he invents the Mousselet. Coin
Nope.
time. He invents the Mousselet. Which is this?
Oh.
That's called a Mousselet.
So you can have more bubbles.
No, so the cork does not.
Well, yeah, in that way you can have more bubbles.
Yes.
Because in the past they're like, not too many bubbles because the cork is going to...
Yeah.
And now he's like, well, now the cork won't.
Yeah. Guess
There's
what,
more
bros? Thanks to Bacchus, now we can have as many bubbles as we want.
All the bubbles you want.
Praise
Yeah.
Bacchus.
Praise Bacchus.
This keeps the devil inside.
Oh.
So that
Diablo.
in this bottle, in every bottle of champagne,
Hmm.
Bacchus and the devil have a battle.
Oh, whoa.
And every time they punch each other, bubbles come out of it.
Oh.
And then this whole thing's full of bubbles, thanks to Adolphe Jacquesson.
So it's not farts. It's bubbles from Adolphe. Let's just have a view of them fighting it out.
Knew that was coming.
Well, you know.
Yeah. Bacchus. Oh, Bacchus coming in.
Ho.
He's got the devil on the ropes. Bacchus takes the devil to school. The school of hard knocks of punching him so hard.
Champagne will never be the same.
And that's the story of champagne. So,
That's
see, the
it.
research was pretty good, wasn't it?
Totally,
Wasn't it?
man. Totally.
And so the rise of popularity of champagne is measured in 3 steps. In the 1800s, it was a very, very regionally popular. 300,000 bottles a year would be sold in the 1800s. By the 1850s,
That's not too shabby. That's nothing to
pretty
spit
good.
at.
Pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
By 1850, 2 million a year. It was spreading. And it was at this time that it began to be marketed as a drink for the nobility, of course, as all things are.
Of course.
And then, of course, as all things are, once the nobility has it, some fucking sucker is like, what about me? I like bubbles, too.
Hey, I like bubbles, too. What about me?
I like when yeast farts.
Do you keeping all those farts to yourself because you're nobility? I don't like that.
Hey, the king. Spread the wealth. Let me have a fart.
Let's see what this character even looks like. Yeah, that's about right.
That's what he looked like, yeah.
Okay.
By the year 2007...
Oh, whoa, okay.
Jumping ahead.
A little bit, sure.
300
The court popped off the dates.
Yeah.
300 and some million?
338.7 million bottles a year of champagne are sold by the time of 2007, which, of course, is because Sex in the City is popular. And the mimosa.
Le mimosa. You know, I mean, that sounds like a smaller amount than I would have guessed. Like, if you had made one of those stupid games where I'm the only person that could lose it, and so, you know, that whole fucking thing. There's like 370 million people in America alone.
That's true. That's like...
Each one of them buy one single bottle of champagne for the year, and you got other people that are buying multiple bottles of champagne for, as you mentioned, bars supplying mimosas.
Mm-hmm.
Also, maybe I'm a bit of a drinker, and I'm like, well, that's like for me. And it also kind of plays into it, but
yeah,
I don't know. It just seems a little thin to me.
You're right, actually.
You know, and you got the bubbles. It's like that's a lot of not alcohol, just air from farts.
Okay.
In that whole equation.
What we got to think about here is, let's say that 338 million bottles of champagne are bought by bars and restaurants every year. Okay. That leaves us with 0.7 million bottles left in the world. But the thing is, do most people have even one thing a year to celebrate?
I mean, our listeners know they're pathetic, creepy little peasants living in you know, shanties and shitting on the floor.
Yeah, that's honestly, we weren't really sure what we were going to talk about, but that's kind of why we did this episode, is so that you would get to experience this.
Yeah,
something to celebrate.
Kind of try to imagine what this is. A champagne. Mm-hmm. 2 syllables. Sound it out.
Yes, and I hope it tastes good in the hut.
Yeah, with dirt floors.
Yeah,
I hope it translates.
Yeah,
with
drank
dirt floors.
Out of probably your hands.
Yeah, or maybe they just pour into a hole dug into the dirt, and they just kneel at it like gazelles.
But you gotta drink it before the dirt does. Our fans.
Mm-hmm. Drink it up.
And if you screwed up, sorry, we'll catch you on episode 100.
Yeah.
When we do champagne too.
Yeah. So that's why it's not a lot of bottles of champagne.
Yeah.
That answers my question.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. That's what I got for research.
That's cool. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. We got a minute left before the timer goes off.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about? Champagne?
Obviously the most consumed alcoholic beverage is beer.
Yeah.
That's got to be edging out anything else. So. You know? And I mean, that's like a stone's throw away from champagne.
Yeah.
You know? Bubbles, alcoholic.
Yeah. It's why when aforementioned Miller High Life referred to themselves as the champagne of beer,
yeah,
nobody really got mad about it.
everybody was kind of like, yeah, it kind of does remind me of champagne, as a matter of fact. Yeah.
If, like, Folgers Coffee had tried that shit, no way.
Yeah.
There would have been riots.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Do you think it's kind of mean that we said all of our listeners were peasants living in shanties with dirt floors?
They're drinking champagne for the first times in their lives. They're so drunk, dude. They don't know what we're talking about. I mean, we've spent so much of this episode talking about farts, and they're, like, loving
They just
it.
lapped it up, and they're fucking idiots.
They're...
Yeah. They're hopeless. Never gonna make it.
No.
Okay. Good. Well, that should be it. We can move on to the next thing.
Yeah, okay. We'll be right back. Congratulations. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
We return once again to the pleasant grove that is Metaphile's studio, where we find co-hosts Jason Ford and Zach Caffrey discussing champagne.
That was beautiful.
Thank you. It's a little storybook version.
Hell yeah.
So we're back now. It's segment 3, and we're going to discuss why champagne. I mean, I know why. Just drank some. Feel pretty good.
Pretty good.
But,
yeah.
of course, there's more to it than that. And we'll get to the very bottom of it now. But first, if I may.
Sure.
Before the champagne bottle itself became a co-prop, you selected for this week's episode this. And I feel like people probably have been wondering about it.
Well, it's what's called a cassette tape.
Yes. This is what a TikTok used to come on.
He used to have to...
You used to have to buy a machine that you could put a TikTok into. It was called a TikTok player. And you put this into the machine, and the machine could see that there's a TikTok in there. And it would play your TikTok for you.
Mm-hmm.
This one in particular features my own music on it and my own artwork on it. And here on what could probably pretty easily be called the most self-indulgent episode of Metaphiles that we've done.
Why not?
Number 50, we're celebrating.
That's right.
I'm going to go ahead and say that I would like to pull up on the fact tube the artwork here and play on Beats Me the sample pad just a little taste of the music that is contained on this cassette tape, if you are all right with that.
Sure. So here we go with the music.
There you go. That's tasteful. That's of course fade out button on Beats Me. Thank you, Beats Me. Co-props. Thank you, FactTube. Co-props. And that is available if you ask me about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Now then, why champagne?
So, well, something that wasn't touched upon during the research segment was, why is it celebratory? Like, when did it gain a celebratory status where,
Yeah.
it seems to fit for sure.
Well, popping the cork.
Ah, yeah.
Which is like an expression even. Let's pop the cork
Yeah.
on good times. On, hey, we finished our business deal. Let's pop the cork
Yeah.
on business.
It's not like, let's have a stew. It's okay, I'll go buy the ingredients and start putting them all together in the same pot. It's going to take about maybe an hour at least. For
now,
it to
hold out your stew flute and I'll pour some in.
Yep.
Mind your hands.
Mm-hmm.
Please have your oven mitts on as I pour.
Happy late New Year's. The stew took a little bit longer. Sorry about that. But we're celebrating. It's a little bit late, but the stew's good.
Yeah.
Doesn't work.
Oh, Carolyn, you graduated from dental hygienist school.
I will start the stew.
I'll get a nice bisque going. Not good.
Doesn't work.
Not good. It's the sound.
Yeah.
Champagne solidified itself as the celebration drink by having a great sound when you open it.
Yeah. Yeah, whichever, I think it was this one, but, hopefully it's this one.
Hopefully.
Hey, awesome stuff. Good job. Congratulations.
You did it.
Graduated. Wow.
Way to have been born.
That's the best fart that this podcast has determined. Wow, great fart.
Wow. Your jazz band had a concert and people actually came and liked it. Oh. Okay. I would celebrate.
Well, with champagne though, that's something that sounds like it need to be congratulated with stew.
Yeah, jazz heads and their stews.
Yeah. It just kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. And again,
celebration.
Beer is second most thing that's like champagne. Has the second best sound when you open it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know what? One of I believe I can speak for you on this very specific point, but one of our favorite quotes from a great author, Charles Bukowski.
Yes.
He says, when something bad happens, you drink to forget. When something good happens, you drink to celebrate. When nothing happens, you drink to make something happen.
Yes.
And champagne is like a perfect, iteration of the celebration portion of that saying, of that philosophy.
If nothing else happens, the sound happened.
Yeah, sure.
And that sound makes you feel like good times ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting times ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. Post office work ahead. Perhaps.
Yeah. What if, perhaps, I would imagine.
Just a little Bukowski joke for you.
I liked it. I pictured him waking up at the crack of dawn and having to go in there and slot those letters and just for himself just.
Oh yeah.
And so, okay, could champagne be used for therapeutic purposes? A person is depressed, and they say, oh doctor, I'm so depressed.
Yeah.
I don't like my job. I don't like my life. I don't like my cat. I don't like my barista.
Sure.
And the doctor says, well,
now it's all better. I like all that.
How do you feel now?
Suddenly in the moment I feel better, which means that everything must be better.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that condition will last.
I'm going to go give my barista another chance. Maybe have a real conversation with them instead of just receive order.
Yeah. You get your order like, no, it's the same. And then you pop open a champagne instead of taking your
another
latte.
one.
Yeah. No cap, no pop on a latte top. You don't get that. On your macchiato, on your flat white, on your red eye, you know.
On your just a normal damn cup of coffee.
Hey, can I just get a normal cup of coffee? Does anybody sell a normal cup of coffee? Yeah.
I really wish I knew which button it was. It's the most important sound effect we ever had.
I know.
But it's all right.
Well, let's
Perhaps
what's
perhaps Beats Me has a certain amount of sentience, and it has actually made the noise when I asked for the noise. You know?
That's a little creepy. Yeah, I don't know about that.
You're
It did do
scared.
that, didn't it, though?
Yeah, but I mean, it seems benevolent. Until Beats Me plays a sample that we don't want to hear,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
then I'm good.
Like maybe a Imagine Dragons song or something like that.
Yeah, which
Then I'm going to be a little freaked out.
I would be a little freaked out. I'd be a little scared of getting the bad kind of ding on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
But Beats
Yeah.
Me also lives on YouTube, so I think it knows that it better stay within the lines.
Huh. Imagine living on YouTube.
Imagine Living on YouTube.
Wow.
The hot new song from Imagine Living on YouTube.
Yeah. That's a great band.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Imagine,
Not
imagine.
dragons. Imagine dragons.
Yeah.
So, well, shit. Why champagne? Because people like getting drunk, and because drinking oftentimes is a facet of celebratory attitudes and
Certainly.
and functions.
At least on its pretense.
And to have an alcoholic drink specifically tailored for such a function makes sense. You know, this one, it makes a cool sound
Very cool sound.
when you want to drink it, and then it's time to drink it. Everybody has to drink it, or else it's going to go bad in like 2 minutes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Also, when you pour it, it has a fun effect, which is like fireworks.
Yeah.
It also looks very pleasant.
Yeah. Bubbles, golden bubbles.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
We've been focusing recently and kind of carving out of a larger piece of clay and into a finite shape the who invents what, the of course Chinese and ancient Egyptian
Yes.
pipeline filtered through ancient Rome, and we discussed, I believe last week, the French grease trap,
Yeah.
which filters out anything that is aesthetically unpleasant and leaves you with only
It's very true.
le bon,
Oh,
what
was that?
the good.
Ooh, le bon.
Champagne is in all ways aesthetically pleasing, visually, auditory, orally would be the word there, olfactory,
Yeah.
presentationally.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very pleasant.
Systematically.
And in
Holy
all ways,
Spirit.
my God, let us have some.
All true, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you could say, much like the Thai,
Yeah.
why is it pleasant? Is because but it just looks good, smells good, sounds good, tastes good,
Yeah.
feels good.
Are we moving as a podcast to less of a like, well, this is why. This is why champagne, and oh, that's why champagne. Okay, cool. So we figured it out. Moving away from that, and more towards a it just is this thing. We all are familiar about the characteristics that it embodies and eschews, or not eschews. Sorry, wrong word. I'm going off. I'm going crazy.
Stay in it.
Let me focus back in. And that's about it. It's just like it's the essence of this thing. Like we all agree it's like a thing. Not necessarily like, well, this is why, but more just like the essence of what champagne is.
I think the purpose of the why segment, and welcome to episode 50 of Metaphiles, has always been to determine why does the human being care or not care or like or not like this thing, And in order to capture that, our attempt has always been to boil that thing down to its essence and determine from that why it is reacted to in the way that it is.
Very well put, very succinct. Yeah.
And I think we have succeeded at it every time, including this time.
Woo! Okay.
And we'll continue to forever.
I'll drink to that, man. Yeah.
Did that answer your question?
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
I think it's important to get back to the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
You know, the original, the OG sensibilities that we embody.
I like that here on episode 50 we asked why segment and answered it.
We fucking did. Whoa. Wow.
Yeah. How about that?
That's pretty highbrow. Let's bring back a fart.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah. All right.
even this out. Our Glugs to Ha's ratio was getting a little unbalanced there.
You're damn right. You're damn right.
Yeah. So, we got a little time to play with here. Let's just go ahead and get the business out of the way and see what we got left after that.
Sure.
We must, of course, determine the villain of Champagne. We must, of course, determine the fate of Champagne. And we must, of course, determine what is the lesson of this episode, our newest and most precarious
No.
thing.
Nah, man. I got lessons all day. I can teach everybody all the lessons they ever need to know about life. Easy, man. Easy.
Professor Farts over here.
Wait, what was the first thing that you talked about, though?
The villain.
Yeah.
The villain. The villain of Champagne. As far as I can tell, it never got in trouble with the church like most things we talk about seem to. Wine and religion have always had a pretty good relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One of the few things that's gotten a pass. So, okay. The opposite of the villain of Champagne is having nothing to celebrate.
I kind of think it has to be like multifaceted. You know, if you
Cynicism. If you're a cynical person,
if you're a cynical person, maybe you want to drink a little bit more than normal.
but you're not going to
It's
drink
an alcoholic
champagne.
drink. I would if there was nothing else.
If there was nothing else. But if you were a cynical person, there would be something else.
Ooh.
Nobody that's like a mean old drunk
Yeah.
sits down at the bar
Mm-hmm.
and is like, give me
Champagne.
give me the usual.
The bottle. Yeah, okay.
I don't need the flute. Leave the bottle. That doesn't happen.
Yeah, but it just doesn't seem right because it's still
you're right, because
alcoholic. It's still an alcoholic.
You're right.
drink
And
at the end
again,
of the day.
like those are work friends.
They're work friends. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cynicism and champagne are work friends.
The enemy of champagne. It's a tough one, man.
Red wine. No, they're work friends. I know they are.
It's a tough one.
Stew.
Hmm.
Let's circle back to it.
Okay.
The fate of Champagne, pretty easy.
Fucking pine wood.
Total
Twice, if I
pine
could.
wood. Yeah.
Shit, man.
Pop,
Yeah, easy. Pop.
Yeah. You got a lesson? Is it Charles Bukowski's line?
I mean, I'll keep that in my back pocket, but I'll also say that my lesson is that you can freeze champagne as much as you want or leave it in a shipwreck for 205 years, it'll still have bubbles.
Yeah. It's a really practical lesson.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have thought that. I just, maybe this is a misplaced idea that I have, but it just seems like if you freeze something that with bubbles in it or leave it for a long time with bubbles in it, the bubbles are going to go away, but they don't.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just like every other lesson, I don't need it. You can shove it. I don't need that shit. I just need to know the status of my champagne in the freezer.
Well, I was about to ask if I can add a co-prop lesson.
Okay, well, I'll entertain it.
Okay. If you're a person out there who is a co-host of an independent podcast where the entire budget of the podcast is up to the people who host it, and you're coming up on an episode of your podcast where you decided you want to drink some champagne during it, and you're worried about doing that on a budget, you can get a bottle that I felt like tasted pretty good for about $6. So
that was some damn good champagne for $6.
Pretty good $6 champagne.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't upset my wallet whatsoever.
Interesting.
So there you are. 2 lessons for the price of 1.
I mean, we could talk about all these fancy lessons that we could try to teach people about, like some wise bullshit. Or we can tell them about champagne, the fact that you can get it really cheap and it doesn't suck, and you can freeze it after that and it won't lose the bubbles and still be good.
Yeah.
And that's like just some facts right there.
Those are facts.
You know.
Those are truths, and we've spoken our
axioms.
Truths.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we spoke our truth. And did we settle on a really good villain? No. But you did get 2 lessons.
Maybe champagne. So stop bitching and complaining about it. Maybe champagne, it makes sense for it to not have a villain.
Yeah. Yeah.
The spirit of champagne, no villain.
No villain. Even Bacchus and the devil can agree.
Yeah.
Champagne is good. And
amen, brother.
And here we've done 50 episodes of this podcast.
We have. That's true.
And we're gonna do at least one more.
At least we'll talk about
at
it.
least 2 more, because I have that planned for 2 weeks from now.
Okay.
But maybe it's time that the podcast transitions into where we just tell you how you can get things for cheap. And we drop the whole why, what bullshit because it's hard. And we just talk about how you can find stuff for pretty cheap.
It's probably going to get us a lot more viewers.
I think so. Yes. Yeah.
I think it's a pretty fucking great idea.
I think so too. So we'll see you next week for episode 1 of the Cheapophiles.
Yep. The price of the monetary, the dollar files.
Yeah, the podcast that saves for you.
Mammophiles. Saves for you, yeah.
Mammophiles?
Mammon.
Mammon Files. Another god. Yeah.
Mammophiles.
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
that sounds great.
Well, thought I had something else. Don't remember what it was.
Beat. Let's do a beat.
Let's do a beat. And also,
what?
I think we've been really, really good about this. That we've never done a Rust Poll ding that we didn't earn.
Yeah.
But the Rust Poll has been with us since episode 1. Mm-hmm. Well, no, sorry, since episode 2. Close enough.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's have a beat, and then let's get just an episode 50 celebratory Rust Poll ding to co-props the Rust Poll for all its great work. It's been overshadowed by the fact too. Let's have that beat. It's beats time.
Good. Good.
And this is the part of the sign off that I say.
This is a part of the sign off that I say.
Hello there. It's almost the end of the show, but not quite. I'm Zach Caffrey,
I'm Jason Ford.
and you just watched the episode of Metaphiles that you watched, and now you're seeing this. And it's the part where we say, it's like us, subscribe to us, comment about it,
Get on our shit.
get on it, build a little community with us. You're all a part of it. It's a nice little world we have here.
It's just a big ball of liking and subscribing and comments.
And it's wonderful to do. And you like doing it. You do.
You do.
You do.
Yeah, you do.
And this week, why not make a comment about bye.
Bye-bye.
Metaphiles.